So when we're looking at the epidermis, okay, the epidermis is stratified squamous epithelium, right?
Yes.
So that's stratified what?
Squamous epithelium.
Squamous epithelium. But all of these flattened epithelial cells are actually, you can divide them up in sublayers because a lot of them have different characteristics from each other. Even though they're stratified squamous epithelium, there are going to be different characteristics in different layers in what we consider the epidermis.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the epidermis? The epidermis is the actual most superficial aspect of your skin. All right, now what's deep to him is going to be connective tissue. Right. The first layer is called the papillary region of the dermis, and that's dense. That's actually not dense. It's actually loose connective tissue, specifically called areolar connective tissue.
Okay.
And then deep to the papillary region is called the reticular region. Reticular region is where you have denser irregular connective tissue, more rubber consistency that holds hair follicles, all right, and other structures like sweat glands and what have you.
Gotcha.
All right, so but let's center on this epidermis and look at these different sublayers of what we consider, okay, stratified squamous epithelium, your epidermis. The most deepest layer is called the stratum basal layer.
Yeah, I remember the
Okay,
base.
so stratum basal layer is just one layer of cells that's kind of weird even because I know we call it stratified squamous epithelium, but a lot of these cells are cuboidal shaped. Okay, they actually have a cuboidal shape instead of the flat shape that they're supposed to have. But these are the main cells, very important, most important cells. This stratum basal layer, most important layer as it relates to creating the epidermis.
Oh,
Because
right,
what
right.
they constantly do is what you call mitosis.
Okay.
You see that? So you remember mitosis is when you have one cell and then you have what? Cell division from that. So
Right.
you get two cells. And that constantly keeps happening with these cells. Then that's why these cells that they make, they ascend up. See, now they become this layer, right?
Okay.
Which is the stratum spinosum.
Gotcha.
Then those cells, what? Those same cells, they keep ascending to the what? Stratum granulosum. Then ascending to the what? Stratum lucidum. And then ascend to the what? Stratum corneum. Okay? So this is the process of creating what we call the epidermis.
Okay.
The cells that layer of this epidermis, the most deepest layer is called the stratum basal layer. It consistently does mitosis and creates the other what? More superficial layer.
Right.
That whole process of these stratum basal cells creating all those layers is called keratinization. And keratinization occurs for 30 days. Okay? So for 30 days, keratinization occurs.
30 days.
Yes, keratinization. So let's get to why we say keratinization.
Okay.
Right? So most of the cells here in this one layer of what we call stratum basal layer, what they're special because these squamous cells, well, not squamous so much for that first layer, right? But what they do is they create what we call keratin, right?
Okay.
So they create keratin. It's
Yeah,
a
that's the
special
waterproof.
protein
Right.
that's similar to collagen because it's so strong,
Yeah.
right? But the difference between how our fibroblasts make keratin, make this protein. Fibroblasts, when they make it in connective tissue, they make collagen and they secrete it out.
Right.
But these cells, they make it and keep it in. So keratin becomes a part of their cell, inside the cell,
Right.
right? And it changes who they are. That keratin fills up the cell so much it pushes out all the vital organelles, if you will. And that means now what's going to happen is that eventually these cells, over time, especially once they rise to more superficial layer, they start to die. Okay, but that's okay because what does keratin give? What property characteristic does this keratin give to these cells? A hardness. You see, now these cells are hard-like, right? It's like they basically got filled up with all of this brick. Now the entire cell itself is brick-like. You know what I mean? It's not going to be alive though, because what did all that brick do? It pushed out all the vital organelles. So as these cells ascend, they die, right? But once they're here and they're dead, what is their characteristic like? They're very hard like. They're hard, right? And so that's great, because if it's a lot of force that hits this type of blood cells, they're not gonna get it. That's your skin.
Yeah.
Very durable, stable, right, and strong. And so that's what's created there. All right. Same thing happened when they cut some trees and made what you call a deck. But that deck used to be living, but now that material is dead.
Right.
But it serves a purpose now. If you happen to stand underneath that deck and it's raining, you gonna get rain on you? No.
No.
Same thing here. Water comes down, not gonna be able to get in your body. You see what I'm saying? If it's real hot that day and heat, right? What is that? Heat trying to come down from the sun? Not gonna get you, right? Because what's blocking it is that deck. That's what you have. That's what your skin is. It's a deck.
Right.
Right? But are those cells living? No. But that feature of helping protect you from heat, to protect you from other things like harmful chemicals,
Right.
that feature is because of what we call keratin. Okay, keratin is what these cells make right here. So that's why we call them what? Keratinocytes. So what mostly makes up what we call the stratum basal layer, or what we call what? Keratinocytes. All right. Keratinocytes then do what? They continue to do what? Mitosis. They ascend.
Right.
They keep ascending. So that's what's most of what we consider stratified squamous epithelium.
Gotcha.
What most of stratified squamous epithelium is, okay, are these keratinocytes that have that feature very strong, like that deck that I was talking about. Okay. Right. So basically, that's a special layer there. It's a special layer that creates the rest of this, what we consider epidermis, through what process?
Keratinization.
And keratinization lasts for how many days?
30.
Yeah. Sometimes it's shorter, right? 8 to 10 days, that's not good enough. Now you're not going to build something that's stable enough, right?
But why would it be shorter? That's some
Shorter
kind of
just
disease?
because of genes. Just because of genes. That's what those cells did mitosis. That means if they're doing it, if it's shorter,
So we're
then those cells that do mitosis, what are they doing? Are they doing it faster or slower?
Sure. I guess
They're
fast.
doing it faster.
Right. But what? So,
Yeah. So
because
it's
it's only
the
10
genes.
days. It doesn't.
Huh?
The whole process.
Say
All
again?
the layers get done in 10 days.
In 10 days.
Oh,
But
okay,
I'm
okay.
so glad you said it like that, because
I
it's
thought
like,
you meant they only.
I'm glad you said it like this. It doesn't make sense. Like sometimes that's what happens. When something grows too fast, it's actually unstable now.
Right. Right.
So that's what this would be, and that's what creates that condition called what? Psoriasis.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Right? But then you give actually what? Steroids to them, because what are you trying to do? You try to have that steroid affect these cells from doing what?
Mitosis.
That's what steroids do. It stops cells from doing mitosis.
Gotcha.
And now they have more what? Stable skin. Now they don't have as many scales and stuff like that. But that's just to give you an example of how keratinization is very important.